in Seattle. Wasn't quite quick enough to get her. Okay. Anyway, that's our wine.
Here we go. Compliments, Malcolm. Would you like some white wine and red wine?
And Puget Sound.
There, I open for something.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
We'll work around it.
What you got?
Got some cheese, two kinds. Yellow and white.
Got some Laughing Cow?
Peanuts, honey roasted, a mint, package of crackers. The trees are in the way, but they're gonna.
Look at the snow up there. Snow.
Oh,
it sure
look
is.
at the snow. Oh, look at that.
You got one, I gave it to you.
Look how green that water is.
Okay, he gave me one. Ready?
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Oh boy.
You know, why don't we trade seats?
Leg, a fat leg, pyramid, icicle, Egypt, teeth,
Yeah, mountain up there, all in clouds.
ski hill,
You a bit of a ham?
Tent with stripes. Indians. Indian hair. Chinese hair.
Could we have some silverware up, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, our next station stop in approximately 10 minutes will be Winona, Minnesota. Our last station stop in the great state of Minnesota. Passengers for Winona, please check above your overhead luggage rack and around your seats for your personal belongings. Exits are located in the center of each car, down the stairs, and you will be assisted from the train by uniformed personnel. Current temperature outside, 66 degrees above zero. Next station stop, Winona.
was my theme song, of course.
Okay, now I've got you on tape. You want to try it? We'll play this back for Dorothy. Okay?
Yeah.
If you'll play it again, okay?
What, Beyond the Sunset?
Uh-huh.
Have lost the bit.
Dad, watch out there.
Where are you? The dogs come. There.
Very
That's my
good.
theme song.
Okay, we're going to take this back to California and play this for Dorothy. You want to wave to her and say hello to her?
Yeah. Sing music.
Is that Dorothy or Ann you're talking
And
about?
I said, yeah,
Ann, yeah.
yeah. I thought, well, I think
It would have been
thank
like
goodness there's
1960.
some more musicians in the farm.
Okay.
But Dorothy and I was always
Yeah.
wanted to play with Dorothy. She always loved the music.
Beer?
86.
Any, can you play?
No, I can't play at all. And I doubt whether you're going to talk Ann into it. And Ron doesn't play, so I'm afraid we're going to have to just rely on you.
Oh, well, yeah, oh, yeah, don't bother with that. I was just playing, you can tell, tell Dorothy that I was playing my theme song to you.
Okay? Well, you're going to tell her, because we're going to show her these.
Oh,
So she'll be able to hear you play.
well, that would be nice.
She has a lot of trouble getting around, but she's 90. She really has trouble getting around.
Ron.
I better sit up. There, how's that?
There's some familiar face.
Well, you see, Harold's rocking in this chair, and at the same time, there's a container. The
Talking in this
bell
chair.
rang. You got the timer on in the kitchen?
Oh, you have.
Oh, for Raleigh?
There we go.
Yeah.
That looks like old Granny Turtle.
Now, let's see. If I can back this up a little.
She understands that more than my mom. My mother has had a terrible time of understanding how her picture could be on there.
Anybody want to say hello to Dorothy while?
Oh, hi, Dorothy. I forgot about that. I was so busy watching the picture.
Oh.
Anyway, Dorothy, it's a pleasure to have your family up here for a visit. It was too bad you're not here,
Didn't know
too.
you were in television.
Yeah. We've been talking about you off and on all day.
You want to say hello to Dorothy? We're going to take this back to her.
Doesn't look like it. You want to say hello to Dorothy, Mom?
Is that Dorothy?
No, it's you.
It's me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Say hello to Dorothy.
Well, hello, Dorothy.
Talk to her.
I didn't know that was me.
Well, that's you. Yeah.
I didn't know I was on
There you are, May.
television.
Say something. You.
That looks like me.
It is May.
Me, you're on television.
We had a friend that
Oh my goodness. You might mention that again. We'll get it on tape. That tree, watch the trunk of the tree. See how it's bent? There's the base of it is right there.
Yeah, high wind. I've seen these trees bent right over. Well, the TV tower is bent right in a 90-degree angle. And as I say, we've had. Just blew over. When I get around to it, I'll have to trim all these off.
What? Mrs. Herring and hello, Dorothy. Is that what you wanted me to say?
Yeah, you got anything to tell her besides that?
Uh-huh.
What?
Tell her something.
Huh?
What do you want to tell her?
I love you. I guess that's all I can say. I'm letting Bruce take care and take charge of things. And pretty soon I'll be down there with you, and you take charge of everything.
Okay. Well, let's kind of pan around her living room here. Let me stand up a little. This goes back to her kitchen is back this way, and a bedroom back there. And Ron's been sleeping out here. And her television set. That looks out on that busy corner that's so noisy out there. And here's her chair. Over this wooden trestle across the railroad track at Northeast 15th Street in Washington, Indiana. Ah, isn't that fun?
Now where?
Street, and here we are at 11th, and we're gonna go right past Mother's apartment. There it is. Go on, and then right on down to Main Street, across Main Street, and then here we come to those noisy railroad tracks. Six Northeast 7th Street, that's the house I essentially grew up in. The Thompson's house, Johnny Fagan's house, and that house right over there is the house that Roberta Cobbert used to live in. And then Dan Myers' house, an apartment building, and this was the Holmes' house. And there is where the Cobberts moved to. They moved out of that other house. This is where Helen Cobbert still lives. And there used to be a big apartment building right there on that corner next to us.
Son's a material witness to a homicide.
You don't understand. We want nothing to do with your laws.
This corner is where my high school used to be. They've torn it down and put a new school in here. And right up there is where my grade school is. They've torn it down and put that building in. So it's all still school, but it's not my school. House. Got here. Be Renee, is that right?
Hello.
And this is my cousin Bob.
That's right.
And we kind of ran into him down here. I'm taking pictures. I was taking pictures of this statue. And guess who we found?
Hadn't seen each other for 20 years, and all of a sudden we see each other 2 times in a week.
Right.
So, well, we wish you all the best for going home, and hope your train trip's just as good a going as it was a coming. And if you ever get back up this way again, which I'm sure you will, come and see us again.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Well, is the tribute of the people of Davis County to the memorial of her brave soldiers who endured the hardships and fought the battles of 1861 to 1865, that the Union might be preserved. Davis County furnished 2,312 men for the Union Army from 1861 to 1865. In 1913, from the courthouse past the Catholic High School Gymnasium down to the First Baptist Church of Washington. Baptist Church to Dorothy Schmidt's and Charlie Lehman's and the Lehman family house. On down the street to the Seats house. This is where Dr. Seat and Bill used to live. Bill still lives here. And Main Street. Around the corner here, you'll be able to see the store. That was, our furniture store was right there. And go on down the street.
Tell me which lane you want to.
Oh, I don't care. Just go on down the street.
Why don't you take a picture straight?
I am. Here we are at 4th Street. Third. Second Street. And coming up on the famous intersection of 1st and Main where the White Steamer is located. And there's the White Steamer. Best hamburgers in the world.
Melvin last week, and she said, I am going to, because I told her how many people were coming, and she said, yeah, it doesn't. When the cushions are, why don't you go get them and I'll... Oh, I thought those were...
Okay, they're going great.
Gentlemen, for those of you who haven't had a chance to meet with us, my name is Bud Melvin. I'm President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of International Guiding Eyes. And on behalf of the Board of Directors, our staff, and the students, we would like to welcome you to our award ceremony. Also, I think on behalf of the weatherman, it's supposed to rain today. You know, we've been laboring at this endeavor for 43 years now. And sometimes the struggles get to be rather heavy, and it's days like this that make it all worthwhile. When we see these students here and the results of our staff's hard work. I think you should know I have been with International Guiding Eyes since 1973 as a member of the board, and since 1982 as the president, and we have now the finest staff in the history of International Guiding Eyes. And we've visited a lot of other schools, and we think there's none comparable. I think we ought to have a good hand for the staff. After we get through with the graduation ceremonies, there will be coffee, tea, cookies, milk, whatever it is, refreshments, and that will be in the kitchen area, which will be to your left and up past the swimming pool. There will be tours immediately following the graduation ceremony, and they will be to your right at the administration building. And she became indispensable to us. We first put her on as part-time, then we put her on as full-time, then we made her general manager, and just last October, the board of directors approved my appointment of Jane Brackman as our executive director. I would now like to turn the meeting over to Jane Brackman. Jane, would you please?
Thank you very much. The first thing I'd like to ask is that you hold your applause till the end of the ceremony today, because we have quite a few things that we'd like to honor and that deserve applause. So if you will just bear with us until the end today, we'd appreciate that very much. I want to thank Bob and Pam English because they called after the last award ceremony. Our microphone system didn't work very good and you couldn't hear us, and you know that you've got a problem when somebody in the audience calls the next week and says, would you like to borrow our portable microphone? So we have sort of revitalized our own, and we're going to work on it, and I think it's okay today. But if we have problems, we have this one standing by, so that's why we have two up here. At this time, I would like to welcome all of the friends and the family of Class 285, and also all the loyal volunteers and supporters of IGE. We're going to do something a little bit special today to support our troops overseas. And we have with us the Girl Scouts of Troop 167 and 54 who would like to present the flag today. I want to point out that these are special Girl Scouts. They're also the puppy raisers who raised Yama, who's graduating today. So would those girls please come forward at this time?
Color guard attention. Audience, please stand. Color guard advance. Color guard present the colors. I am your flag. I am a symbol of America. I
suppose you could say that I am America. I am great cornfields in the Midwest, throbbing industries in great cities, orchards and vineyards in the valleys of the West. I am mountains, rivers, and lakes. I am the citadel of democracy and the vanguard of freedom in a world where both are threatened. I am the opportunity for any man, woman, boy, or girl to become anything if they have the skill and the will to do it. I am most things to everyone and everything to most people. In fact, that's what I am. People. Free people. You. Color guard post the colors. Color guard salute the colors. Color guard dismissed.
You'll hear more from those girls when they present their puppy today. Thank you very much. I think we have a 7-hanky award ceremony for you today. I know this is a very special class to all of us, and the staff here really, this is, as Bud said, a very special day. It makes everything, it provides the reason for what we do. And I had an occasion last week to have someone tell me why this is important. And it's a story that's a little bit sad, but it has a bright ray of hope in it. We were notified last week that we are the sole beneficiary of an estate left to International Guiding Eyes. The man who had passed away has never come out for an award ceremony. We had never heard of him before. And I called the attorney and I said, I'm really curious, why would this man name us as his sole beneficiary? And the attorney proceeded to tell me that this man was suffering from incurable emphysema, and he was disabled so much he had to carry an oxygen tank with him wherever he went. And when he came in to write his will, it was a time that he was looking for hope. And he knew he didn't have any. And he was so inspired by the hope that the guide dog provides for a person who's disabled with blindness. That was the relationship which he wanted to sponsor, was the hope. And I know that when the graduates speak to you today of their own personal experiences, I think what the dog provides is he changes a disability to a terrible inconvenience. And that's kind of the magic that happens in the relationship. At this time, I'd like to introduce our staff and the donors and the sponsors who make this happen. So I know that you're kind of spread out. So as I say your name, if you would raise your hand or holler or something over there. Kelly Brown is our animal health technician and kennel manager. Steve Berkman is behind me, and you'll hear more from him. He is a licensed instructor, and he is one of the instructors in this class today. Donna Caruth is one of our kennel technicians. Mary Foreman, also a kennel tech. And they have some of our dogs up here today, too. They're giving them a little socialization. Some of those are puppies over there, believe it or not. Sandy Hanner is our administrative assistant, and she coordinates many of the programs here at IGE. Louise Henderson assists in the puppy department and the breeding department. Cindy Johnson is in charge of canine development. Andy Crusoe, she's the person who does everything. And the graduates know her well. She's in charge of admissions and social services. Gee, it's great to have a 2-page staff list. I love it. I think I saw Tracy Orloff a little while ago. I don't know if she's still here, but she's our receptionist, and she's the one who answers the phone. Marcia Parker is here today, and Marcia's over here. She is our new apprentice, so she was just advanced from instructor's assistant to apprentice. Linda Partello is another apprentice, second-year apprentice. She'll be doing a demonstration in a little while. Nick Taronis is in charge of our training program, and he'll be talking to you in detail about what we do here. Trina Verborn is an apprentice in this class, and she'll be addressing the crowd too. Richard Warner, I think I saw him come in. He's in charge of development and fundraising. We also have, for your information, and I'm sure we've told you many times, people who sponsor our programs for us. And we have, at this time, I'd like to recognize a couple of donors from Troop 167 and 54, again, the Girl Scouts who raised Yama. Are they here? Can we have them come forward? And they're presenting a check today in the amount of $100, and that's to cover the cost of Yama's harness, her grooming tools, the bowl, the leash, the collar, and the bed that Alice will take home with her today. And they would like to make a brief presentation.
On my honor, I will try. There's a duty to be done, and I say I. There's a reason here, for a reason above. My honor is to try, and my duty is to love. People don't need to know my name. If I've done any harm, then I'm to blame. If I've helped someone, then I've helped me and opened up my eyes to see. On behalf of Alice Chavez and Yama, Joshua Tree Council Girl Scout Troops 167 and 54, we would like to present to International Guiding Eyes a donation check of $100.
We also have a sponsorship program which donors can sponsor a puppy, and for that sponsorship gift of $3,000 or more, they can name the puppy, and we send them photographs of that puppy at 6 weeks of age and 6 months of age, and then after their dog comes in for evaluation, and when the dog is put into the program, we notify them of graduation. And I don't think that we have anybody today here from Hughes employees, but I do want you to know that they did sponsor Roxanne, and you'll be meeting Roxanne in a few minutes, so we'd like to thank them very much. We have a special guest today. We have another dog that was puppy raised, and the dog was named after C.G. Ware, who is on KABC morning commentator. And C.G. is with us today because she wanted to meet her namesake. And if she would come up right now, she has just a few words to say.
Good afternoon. I was really delighted when Rayma and Bill Meyer wrote me a letter first and said they listened to the Ken and Bob program on KBC Radio, which has transformed itself into the Ken and Barkley radio program, which we don't need to go into. However, I wanted to tell you, you know, it's funny, things happen when your life is a little bit public. But I was so honored to have a guide dog named CG, and some people might say it's not that big an honor to have a dog named after you, but I knew that I was really thrilled when I heard about this, because when I first came to Los Angeles, and I hadn't been able to get work as a television reporter or anything, I went and donated some time to the Braille Institute as a reader because it was what I knew how to do. And so I have a little bit of familiarity with some of the work that is done for people with this impairment. And so I can't tell you how delighted I am to be with all of you and to say that all of you who have supported the worthy work done for this organization, to thank you and for all of us who are sighted to know what a gift that is, but what a true gift it is for people who've been working so hard to make this program function for the 40 years that it has. And for all of you who give all your time training the dogs and supporting the dogs and sponsoring the dogs, I just want to say that I greatly admire your work, and I'm truly honored to have CG named after me. So thanks for including me in the celebration today. Thanks.
I want to talk to you just very briefly about our breeding program today because we're very proud of it. And I want to tell you where all these wonderful dogs that you're going to see today, where do they come from? We started our breeding program here a few years after this facility opened its doors in 1982. Most of the dogs that you're going to see today are dogs that were produced in our own breeding program, except one who's sort of one of our own because she was one we went out and we actually purchased her because she was a pretty special dog. Most of our dogs are, at this point, a result of our own breeding program, and this is very important to us. But a lot of people ask us, well, you know, the dogs that you use as breeding stock, a lot of people think that they're down in the kennel, and that's what we use them for. At this time, we have two very special guests with us today. Dragé, who lives at the home of Sandy and Eileen Sweet. Would you stand up? And John McKeon, where's John? Is he over here? He lives with Telsey, one of our brood bitches. And Telsey and Dragé are the proud parents of two of the dogs that we have graduating today, and that's Brian Bend. So it's kind of a real thrill for us to have them both here, Mom and Dad. This just points out for you that our breeding stock, when we choose a dog to put into the breeding program, we're looking for dogs that have outstanding qualities, including physical soundness and temperament that's suitable to guide work. Cindy Johnson makes an evaluation on the dogs when they're young. About graduates.
Thank you, Jane. First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone here today. It's a special day. Even in the midst of times that are pretty tough right now, perhaps we may not be experiencing it physically, but emotionally we are. We may have some loved ones in the Gulf, but it's always, I think, a blessing to have something positive continuing in our midst, and that's why I say it is a special day. I'd like to explain a little bit about our training program. I'm not sure if everyone here has been to our organization before, or if it's your first time. But the program all starts from the puppy program, when these dogs are born and raised. And the puppy raisers, they are the ones that have a lot of responsibility, because they take these little dogs, and these little dogs can be pretty mischievous sometimes, maybe, oh boy, chew up a pair of brand new shoes or try to. And it's a lot of responsibility in raising these dogs, feeding these dogs, grooming them, taking them out to relieve, and make sure that they're properly socialized. So I'd like to, first of all, extend my gratitude to all of you who are puppy raisers, and for those of you who perhaps plan on becoming a puppy raiser. Without you, this program could not stand. So you are a very solid foundation for the training program itself. When these dogs come in anywhere from 15 to 18 months of age, that is when they begin their formal training. Now, we could bring in anywhere from 24 to 30 dogs at one time. And these instructors, it is their responsibility to teach these dogs basic obedience. It takes 4 to 5 months to train these dogs. And what these dogs learn and have accomplished before they come into class is learning how to sit and stay, to lie down, to heel at their side, in the midst of cat distractions, other dog distractions, food distractions, bird distractions, anything that we can get our hands on during training, we will present it to the dog. And it's very important that these dogs are very well behaved. These dogs are trained to walk in a straight line along the sidewalk. If there are pedestrians or bikes, trash cans, these dogs are trained to maneuver an individual around that obstacle and bring them back on a straight line. These dogs understand how to stop at a down curb before making a crossing. They understand how to cross a street in a straight line and stop for the up curb. They are trained to make right turns and left turns. They are trained to go inside buildings on slick floors, on rug, elevators, stairs, you name it. These dogs have been through it. City bus, country roads, sidewalkless areas, downtown LA. They've been through it all. And it's very important that these dogs receive this specialized training. The reason being is the folks behind me who will be receiving their dogs in just a moment will be encountering these types of situations. Now, after 4 to 5 months of training, they come into a class situation as they are now. And it takes 28 days for each student to go through the course with their dog. However, if we have retrains coming back for a replacement dog, it is only required by the state of California that they spend 14 days. Now, California is the only state that's governed by a state board of guide dogs, the 3 schools that are here in California. And the program itself is designed in a way that each student will receive all the necessary training before they go home. When they're in class, and Trina will speak to you a little bit more about that, there are many things that they have to go through before they graduate. Once they graduate, they go home, and we have a very unique program. It's an aftercare program where an instructor will go to the individual graduate's home and visit them on an annual basis, and just to check up and just to see how things are going and to offer assistance to them. We are a nonprofit organization. We rely solely on donations from like yourselves and other various clubs that are within the community. I've been working here. I started my apprenticeship here in 1981, and there has been a lot of growth in this program, and it's so beautiful for me to see all of you out there. And each time I come to a graduation, it seems like it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's so rewarding to see people who do care and who are supportive of our program. With everybody's help, we're providing independence, we're providing freedom, we're providing perhaps confidence, and just an easier way to get about doing things, so that the folks that need to use a guide dog are just traveling along the sidewalks just like any other sighted person. And without your support, this could not be possible. So I'd like to thank you, and before I turn the mic over, I'd like to congratulate the students behind me, Tammy and Christian, Jack, Maria, Bill, Johnny, Henry, Ed, Mel, and Alice. I'd like to say congratulations to you all. Keep up the good work. And like we always say, stick to the basics, be consistent, and be persistent with your dog. So congratulations to you all. And now I'd like to turn the mic over to Trina Vervoren, who was a real eager beaver in this class and just nonstop, just working very hard, and she'll give you a little bit more detail on what the graduates here today have been through. Trina.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would just like to welcome you here today and explain a little bit about what they do here during their 28-day stay. Before they receive their guide dogs, they must learn the proper handling techniques with the leash corrections, the voice commands, their footwork, and their hand gestures. During the first week that they're here, we do something called Juno exercises, which is where the instructor plays an imaginary role of the guide dogs. They learn their hand gestures, their voice commands, how to be assertive with their voice, their footwork, and their hand gestures and guide work. After 3 days, then they receive their guide dog, and they're very anxious on this day. It represents a big day for more independence, more freedom to go out to do what they want to do on their own, and they begin to learn a basic route, which consists of right and left turns. They get to know this route very well because they will be traveling in this independently, and then we give them a day out on Sunday just to rest and spend quality time with their dog. During the second week, they continue with their individual instructions. They learn a daily routine of relieving their dog. We do obedience each morning. We do our guide work twice a day, and then we have lectures each evening. And the reason we do obedience every day is so that the dog remembers who's boss. Because in guide work, they have many options, like I was saying, to move around obstacles, and we call this intelligent disobedience. They may have to refuse the command to go out into the street, and that is okay for them to do. Begin working independently during this week. The instructors step back and just let them work it out on their own. During the third week, we learn to deal with the situations such as artificial traffic, where the instructor will drive a car and simulate the artificial traffic. We cover the buildings, the malls, the city bus, sidewalkless area, and downtown LA. And we move on to the fourth week, and we concentrate on just our good handling techniques, and we work on problem areas of where maybe what they will encounter when they go home from us. And as they go home on their fourth week, as Nick was saying, we will go and follow up and see how they're doing in their home area. And then the instructors have some time off. Yay. And then we'll be ready to come back and start this all over again with a new group of dogs, which may be here today, and repeat the whole cycle again. And they're all very anxious to go home. At this time, I'd like to introduce Christian Conway. She's our class valedictorian, and she'll give a little speech on what the class has to say about their time.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the class of 285, I'd like to welcome you to our very special day, which is our graduation. At this time, I'd like to start in honor of our first-timers receiving their very first dogs by going through what they go through from the moment they receive their acceptance letter, the emotions, the nervousness, the anticipation, all those feelings start coming up, and then the day comes, they're here at the center, and they just don't know what to think about it. They're just overwhelmed. Then the second day, after they arrive, they meet Juno, the illustrious Juno, who becomes their companion for those 2 days. Juno is the one who teaches them the proper leash handling, the commands, the footing, the positions, and being consistent, which is very important. And then on the third day, all those emotions, they start rushing up, and they're, whoa, we're left in our rooms to wait our turn and to wait for our names to be called to go and meet the one individual that all our hard work and devotion for the last 2 days was for. And we are called, and we go into the office, and we meet him, and there is nothing like the feeling that you get when that tail is wagging, that tongue is going, I mean, you get more kisses from that puppy than you'll ever get from your spouse. And that's when it begins. The hard work really begins. And then there's that day comes when it finally clicks, and you know it clicks, that that dog is working for you. Not because it's being corrected, not because it's being told no, but it's working for you. The love, devotion from the dog really starts to come out. And that is what brings us, one more thing. There's also that feeling you get to that point as a new comer where you just about had it. You don't know why you're there. Your self-esteem is shot. You just feel like giving it up, throwing the towel in, hopping on a plane and going home. And that's when Juno comes back in, you hear this little voice and saying, it's going to be okay. Just follow through. Be consistent. And that's what brings us to this day, this very, very special day for all of us, where we are officially declared a team with all of our puppies. And at this point, I'd like to say it's probably especially good for me today because I am a deaf-blind individual. I am the first deaf-blind person at IGE to be given a chance to receive a guide dog. I'm a pioneer. And that's a good feeling. My mobility is going to maintain its freedom. It's hard enough being blind and trying to be independent using a cane. But to be deaf-blind and use a cane and have that independent mobility is impossible. And so today, I'm being given my independence and my freedom. And I love that. I wanted to share that with you. And as well, I'd like to share how I view the guide dogs that we're receiving today. They look at us with devotion and love. They don't care if Steve is a gift from the heart. For a gift from the heart is truly a gift because it is given to you freely and without conditions. And so from us, the class of 285, to you who have given from your hearts to us, these beautiful puppies that are going to give us our freedom. We love you. We promise we will go that extra mile for them. And we will be the best teams out there that we can be because you have given from your heart to us our future independence. And something that will always, always love us. Thank you very, very much from the bottom of our hearts.
At this time, I would like to represent Steve Berkman, the licensed instructor of 285.
They've been waiting to get me. Well, thank you. This is Super Bowl Sunday, but I think we'll all remember today as Super Dog Sunday. And I'm not going to stand up here and make a long speech. I'm here to introduce to each and every one of you guys the graduates of Class 285. And so that's just what I'm going to do. Our first graduate today is Alice Chavez. She lives in San Pablo, California, and she will be receiving guide dog Yama. Yama is a female border collie. She was raised by the English family and Girl Scout Troop 167, and she will be presented by Karen English and Sherry Lequin. Is that correct? Have you ever seen the Roadrunner cartoons? That's Alice.
Yeah.
I want to thank the trainers and the puppy raisers and the Girl Scouts for doing such a good job raising Yama. And I've enjoyed giving and supporting my fellow students. Thank you.
This is Alice's fourth guide dog. She has a total of 9 years of experience. Next, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Mel Dalton. Mr. Dalton is married. He has 3 children, a girl and 2 boys. He works full-time for the Social Security Administration. He has a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology. He will be receiving his 4th guide dog also. They've all been from IGE. This man has a total of 23 years of experience doing guide work. Mel?
I want to thank IGE once again for providing me with a guide dog. I've had a dog since 1969. I began with German Shepherds. My last dog was a Golden Retriever. And now I've got Crockett, my first English Labrador. And I'm really looking forward to working with him. And I want to thank Nick Tronis and Steve, Trina, all the instructors here, the cooks, cleaning personnel, and everyone. Thank you very much.
Presenting Crockett today is Peter Old. Congratulations, Mel. Next we have Edwin Elliott. He's a professor of music for the past 30 years. He teaches at Southern California College in Costa Mesa. He has a wife, Martha, 2 children, a daughter and a son. He has 1.5 grandchildren. Says his hobbies are making music, and he's very active with this church and the community. He's been working very, very hard. This is his first dog. And presenting his dog today, Classy, a female yellow door Labrador Retriever, will be Ted Taylor.
Thank you, Steve. Get this thing out of here. I am very grateful to everybody here. They've been such great people. And I appreciate all the support. My family, my wife especially. 28 days is a long time, isn't it, Mark? And all the support of my colleagues from the college and my friends at church, my family. Someone's notes are blown away. I'm not really reading these. But there are 3 people I've asked special permission from somebody who's not in charge if I could do something. Andy, where are you? Trina, one of our instructors, is a great gal. She saved my life one day. The dogs are supposed to go from curb to curb, you know, in a straight line. Well, this one went on a diagonal one day because she saw one of her kennel mates across the street. I heard this voice, Ed, stop! And of course, I was in the middle of the intersection then. Go right, go right. She was so calm about it, and we finally got to the curb. Trina? Tell me to stop. I have a special gift for you. I gave her a package of Lifesavers. And then our resident comedian, Nick, when we're out on our trips in the vans going from here and there, always has a few dumb jokes. And Nick, you may tell him the name of that if you wish.
It's the world's worst elephant jokes.
And then we have Steve. Poor Steve, he gets his legs run off. He has people like Alice. We're up in this park and says, Alice, go ahead on your own. And she ends up halfway down to the city of San Fernando. And guess who has to chase her? And then Mel, he crosses the tracks, gets on the wrong side of the tracks. We lost him for about a half an hour. And Steve was just going crazy trying to find him. So Steve, I have a special gift for you too.
Thanks, Ed.
Now he can skateboard up and down the hills and not get so tired. But again, these are great people. I really appreciate them. What they do is really a gift from God, and I don't know how we'd make it without their love and their sensitivity to all of our needs and our frustrations and everything. So I really want to thank Nick, Trina, and Steve for all their hard work. Thank you, guys.
Next we have Henry Eshelman. He will be receiving Roxanne. Roxanne is a female German Shepherd raised by Courtney and Audrey Moe. and today she's presented by Courtney Moe. Mr. Elshelman has a total of, get this, 36 years working with guide dogs. He has a daughter who he lives with. He lives in Pomona, and he is a piano tuner and a musician. Henry.
First thing I do is a joke between Nick and me and Joanne. Do you see what I swapped to Juno for? I would like to, if I could, go back to 1955. First time, the school started in 1948, I believe, and I came here in 1955 for my first dog. And anyway, the first time I went from San Francisco, that's where I was living at the time, and went to Arkansas to see my dad, and it was no sidewalks or sidewalkless places. It was all dirt roads. So I was going from my dad's over to a country store, and me and Krista was her name, and we were walking along and met a whole, they didn't have no stop laws, so we met a whole road full of hogs. And all the time she was boofing at them, she was backing up. She wasn't going far. So we finally got back. So anyway, I thought it was kind of amusing the way she did, because she wasn't raised in the country. And I would like to say with all, I'm a big kidder. I like to kid around, and I still appreciate what the program has developed into. I've been through Burbank, North Hollywood, and over here. So, I mean, I've got one from each place. I lived in San Francisco, then La Puente, and now in Pomona. So, and I would like to appreciate getting Roxanne. And I think when we get away and we sit down and she talks to me and I talk to her and all this and that, we'll get along all right. So I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Next gentleman I will be presenting is Mr. Johnny Graff. Mr. Graff is from Redondo Beach, California, and Mr. Graff is a very, very colorful person and a good addition to our class. He's worked with the Randolph Hearst Corporation for 25 years, worked with Catherine Coleman Foundation for 11 years. He's the owner of magazine Wire Service, and he's very, very active in his home community, and he's heavily involved with Doheny Eye Bank. He plays the piano very well, and he has 11 cockatiels, or birds, at his house, and I would expect within the next year I'll get a report of this man walking down the sidewalk doing guide work with a cockatiel riding on either his dog or his shoulder. Johnny? Johnny will be receiving today guide dog Carson. Carson is a yellow Labrador retriever, male, and he was raised by the Johnson family, and today is presented by Diane Johnson.
I don't know what to say. I feel good all over more than any place else. I didn't think this was possible. I had my accident about 6 years ago, lost my sight 3 years ago, and losing the rest of it soon to come. And I called Andy for applications on Class 284 and chickened out. They could never match a dog or find a dog to deal with me, which is not true. I want to thank the puppy raisers. That, to me, is a ministry. And the Johnson family, Bob, Diane, and Brett, I love you, and I'll take good care of Carson till way after year 2000. I'm Johnny, he's Carson. And I don't want anybody ever to call him Alcinio. I want to appreciate so much Trina these are the apprentice, Marcia, who spent the first 2 weeks completely blindfolded, learning how it is not to see. What a great gal. They're dedicated women. This is not a job, it's a ministry, believe me. The kennel keepers, we don't see them too often, but they have a hard job. It's very, very good. I love the cook, and I came here to lose 20 pounds and gain 10 more, because that's why I'm wearing a black shirt. I love their cherry cobbler. It's wonderful. Other than that, I have friends here, Don Stroll and Harold Gother of the Hearst Corporation, Randolph Hearst. Patty couldn't make it. Bob Gramco, who kept my business together through these last 5 years, is now on the up road, and I thank you all very much.
Next person who will be receiving their guide dog is Bill Milarski. Milinarski, I've done this to him for 3 weeks. It's my chance to get back. Bill will be receiving guide dog Bry. He was a male German Shepherd raised by Vicki Roll, and today will be presented by Vicki Roll. Bill goes to Braille Institute a couple times a week. He has an AA degree, and he will be working on his bachelor's degree in theater. I asked him what his hobbies were, and he says his dog. So I thought that was pretty nice. He rides the bus a lot, and he will be going to CSUN University. So we're very, very happy for Bill. I wish him the very best of luck.
Talk about your dog and pony show, huh? I would like to thank International Guiding Eyes, Bud Millman, Jane Brackman, Andy, Sandy, Cindy, the gang in the kennel, Diane, Marcia. Oh, by the way, Marcia, it's 1:50 p.m.
Thank you.
You see, when Marcia was blindfolded, she'd always come to me to ask what time it was during her 10 days of darkness. When she took her blindfold off, we called it a blindfoldectomy. I can tell you that before my eyesight got as bad as it is, I used to be a very independent person. I used to be able to ride a bicycle, and my mother would have nightmares. She'd be waiting for the phone calls from the hospital whenever I'd go out riding, and then when I'd come home safe, she'd go, whoop! This guide dog will bring me back the independence, right? Will bring me back the independence that I thought I had lost, and also companionship. I'd also like to thank Steve, Nick, and Trina for putting up with me for 3 weeks. We've got one more, and then I'm home. Yay! I'll tell you, this is better than the Schick Center for the weight control. My day begins at 5:45 in the morning and doesn't get off till 9:15, 9:30 at night. Certainly, I can't say anything better than what our valedictorian Christian just said, and I think everything she said is extremely valid in my case. I'd like to thank Vicki for raising Bry. She told me in the hallway over there that when she first got Bry, you could hold Bry in her lap. Bry is 21 months old. He weighs 91 pounds. I was also told that in some foreign airports, if you bring a guide dog, they make you carry the guide dog on the plane. No way. Get a forklift. Anyways, thank you very much. And in conclusion, I'd just like to say that somewhere, someday, you may be standing at a street corner, and someone may walk up behind you and say, Juno, hop up. Attaboy. Thanks.
Our next student graduating today is Miss Maria Perez from El Monte. She lives at home. She goes to the Braille Institute 3 times a day. And she has quite a commute there. She goes through Los Angeles, takes several buses. She will be receiving guide dog CG. It's a yellow Labrador Retriever, raised by Bill and Rayma Myers, and presented by Rayma Myers. Maria.
Thank you. I just want to thank the trainers here that have been so patient and their strength. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a brand new friend. And
We're looking for you all, and then they went the other direction. Both splitting up. You saw me earlier.
So what are you boys up to now? Hi, Dan. That wasn't the guy.
Right here, Ed. Taking some videos.
I thought I heard you laughing out there. Mom and Dad.
Bruce?
Yes.
Did you get one of the couple rations and make it?
Yes, I'm trying to.
You're trying to get it.
When are you going to get home? Oh, what day?
How's that?
That looks good. Except this is a video, you don't have to see, although there's some people taking stills.
Hopefully the light will work out all right. We're inside, so.
I'll stay put for a moment. I'll go out.
I'm sorry.
Steve Billy told me we had to run.
Want me to take a picture with you in there also? Thank you.
Reject.
Yeah, I hope you get one.
First of all, I put down a golden retriever, and then I changed it to, for my first choice, I put a
yellow lab.
yellow lab.
I never did get to talk to Jane Brown.
But it takes about a year.
Well, she's probably around, maybe in the refreshment area.
I wondered if I
What
went
you
to
did?
Beth and I'll walk over there.
She did want to see you.
Yeah, excuse me.
I won't have time. Good girl. See how obedient she is? Even with all this-
I'm impressed.
You mind better than that?
Oh,
You know, the lead.
Was that Mr. Elliott's bed?
See how it's,
Sleeps up here, doesn't
it's tied to the ground.
The dog sleeps on the bed and I tie down there. Boy, they test you.
Classy.
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 Since this has been more,